There's Light and Joy on Turkey Mountain. Copyright symbol August 2023. Glow teaser. Embark on a transformative journey through the pages of There's Light and Joy on Turkey Mountain, a captivating tale of redemption and renewal. Follow the footsteps of Seraph, a beacon of light amidst darkness, as he navigates the treacherous terrain of Turkey Mountain, a place once marred by cruelty and despair. As the ambassador of positive change, Seraph leads the inhabitants on a path from darkness to dawn, confronting the depths of despair, rediscovering their true intent, and forging a future defined by compassion, unity, and the pursuit of genuine light, oneness, and wellness. From the melting of darkness to the emergence of the Glow River, this gripping narrative explores the unyielding power of redemption, reminding us that even in the face of the most challenging circumstances, the choice to embrace light and positivity remains within our grasp. Shadows of the mountain. In a land where reality and the unimaginable converged, a sinister peak etched its mark on the horizon. The mountain's name, whispered in hushed tones, was synonymous with darkness and despair: Turkey Mountain. Its towering silhouette cast an ominous shadow over the land, a grim reminder of the secrets it held within. But amidst this bleakness, a beacon of hope emerged. A messenger from a realm of pure light and goodness, a place akin to heaven itself, arrived to confront the mountain's malevolent legacy. This envoy of illumination, known to his fellow celestial beings as Illumin, bore a name on this earthly journey: Seraph. Seraph was no ordinary traveler. He was a Glow, a being whose essence resonated with the radiant energy of Glow. Glow was more than just light, it encapsulated genuine light, oneness, and wellness. Seraph hailed from a realm where glow permeated every corner, where harmony and joy were the fabric of existence. It was a realm from which all life originated, a place untouched by darkness. The purpose of the Glow was clear: to kindle the flames of enlightenment wherever shadows threatened to engulf the light. Seraph's mission was to tread the treacherous path up Turkey Mountain, to reclaim it from the grip of despair, and to unveil the buried spark of glow within its tortured souls. As Seraph set foot on the foothills of the mountain, his presence triggered a ripple of unease among its inhabitants. Creatures with twisted souls, once human-like, had devolved into grotesque beings. Their features contorted by darkness, they were reflections of the very despair that gripped the mountain. The concept of glow was foreign to these inhabitants, a stark contrast to the reality they had grown accustomed to. The notion of genuine intentions, of light and oneness, was as alien as the celestial realm from which Seraph hailed. And so, as Seraph began his ascent, he ventured into a world far removed from his own, carrying with him the unwavering belief in the transformative power of glow. The journey ahead promised challenges and revelations, as the Glow delved into the heart of darkness to uncover the flickers of light that had long been obscured. The inhabitants of Turkey Mountain would bear witness to their forgotten yearnings for justice and fairness, a distant echo of their past that held the key to their redemption. With each step, Seraph would reveal that even in the most desolate of landscapes, the potential for renewal and rebirth lingered, waiting to be awakened. As the shadows loomed, he carried the promise of light and joy to a mountain shrouded in darkness, guided by a fervent hope that the glow within all souls could, in time, be rekindled. Chapter 2: The Glow's Descent. In the realm of pure light and boundless goodness, a being named Seraph radiated with an inner brilliance that set him apart. Among his celestial kin, he was known as a Glow, an emissary of the universal essence known as glow. This ethereal realm, a sanctuary of oneness and positivity, was a stark contrast to the ominous Turkey Mountain that cast its ominous shadow across the land. Seraph was no stranger to the delicate balance between light and darkness. His existence was a testament to the power of glow, a force that emanated from within and resonated with the very fabric of creation. Guided by his inner light, Seraph was chosen to journey beyond the realm he knew so well. The call came from Turkey Mountain, a place steeped in darkness, a place that desperately needed a glimmer of hope. As he prepared for his descent from his celestial abode, Seraph's luminescent form cast a warm glow across the surroundings. His eyes, shimmering with wisdom, held the depth of countless journeys taken on behalf of glow. It was in those eyes that the destiny of Turkey Mountain rested. With a heart resolute and wings unfurled, Seraph embarked on his journey to the realm below. His path led him from the heavens to the earth, from boundless light to a world tarnished by despair. Yet, his resolve was unyielding. Seraph was not a stranger to the trials he would face. He had confronted shadows before and had witnessed their transformation into light. As he touched down at the base of Turkey Mountain, a somber energy enveloped him. The air was thick with the weight of suffering, and the land itself seemed to echo with the cries of souls imprisoned by darkness. The inhabitants of the mountain cast wary glances at the radiant being who stood before them, a beacon of hope in a place so starved of it. With each step Seraph took, the ground beneath him seemed to tremble, as if acknowledging the significance of his mission. His mere presence challenged the twisted norms of the mountain, igniting a curiosity that had long been suppressed. The Globarsader's journey had begun, and with it, the delicate dance between light and darkness that would test the very essence of Turkey Mountain's existence. The inhabitants watched as Seraph ascended the mountain's rugged terrain, their eyes following his path with a mix of fascination and apprehension. For the Globarsader's arrival heralded a new chapter in the mountain's dark history, a chapter that held the promise of transformation and redemption. With every step he took, Seraph's purpose became clearer, to bridge the gap between the light he carried within and the darkness that had taken root on Turkey Mountain. Chapter 3: The Shroud of Desolation. As Seraph ascended the rugged slopes of Turkey Mountain, the land around him seemed to darken, as if the very earth was shrouded in a veil of despair. The once promising landscape had withered into a desolate tableau, a testament to the malevolent forces that had taken root. The environment itself bore the scars of its inhabitants' disregard. The ground, once fertile and teeming with life, was now marred by the presence of refuse and decay. A putrid stench hung heavy in the air, a haunting reminder of the darkness that clung to every crevice. Amidst this desolation, the inhabitants of Turkey Mountain moved with an unsettling grace, their features twisted into grotesque masks of cruelty. Their eyes held a feral gleam, a reflection of the shadows that had consumed them. Seraph watched as they went about their daily routines, each action steeped in a chilling aura of malice. Disturbing practices had become the norm in this realm of twisted reality. Acts of cruelty were committed with casual indifference, as if the very concept of empathy had been extinguished. The once harmonious community had devolved into a gathering of fractured souls, their interactions guided by a depraved understanding of power. Seraph's heart ached as he observed the torment that had become commonplace. He saw the signs of a darkness that had taken root long ago, its tendrils reaching every corner of the mountain. The inhabitants' actions were a reflection of their inner turmoil, a dance of cruelty that echoed the very shadows that consumed them. Yet, amid this bleakness, Seraph could not deny the flickers of humanity that still existed. Beneath the layers of malevolence, he sensed the faint echoes of their past intentions. It was these echoes that would become the focal point of his mission, the threads of glow that he sought to rekindle. As he continued his ascent, Seraph knew that the road ahead would be fraught with challenges. The mountain's darkness ran deep, a wellspring of suffering that had to be addressed at its roots. The twisted inhabitants were merely a reflection of the environment that had nurtured them, and it was this environment that needed to be transformed. With a heavy heart and unwavering determination, Seraph pressed on. He would confront the shadows that had enshrouded Turkey Mountain and seek to unveil the forgotten spark of glow that had been buried beneath layers of darkness. The Globarsader's journey into the heart of the mountain had only just begun, but already, his presence was sparking ripples of change in the land of desolation. Chapter 4, Echoes of the Past. High on the jagged peaks of Turkey Mountain, an unsettling presence lingered, lurking in the shadows like an ancient memory. These goblin-like creatures, once human in form, had devolved into twisted forms that seemed to mirror the mountain's darkness. Their features were contorted, bearing a resemblance to the malevolence that had taken root in the land. As Seraph journeyed deeper into the heart of the mountain, he sensed the goblin creatures' presence even before he laid eyes on them. Their eyes, once mirrors of innocence, now held a hollow gaze that seemed to reflect the abyss of despair. They moved with a cautious grace, like shadows brought to life. These creatures, the guardians of Turkey Mountain's secrets, were more than mere inhabitants. They were living echoes of the past, remnants of a time when intentions were pure and desires were rooted in justice. Seraph's heart ached as he recognized the tragic transformation that had taken place. In his celestial realm, Seraph had learned of the mountain's history, a tale steeped in pain and longing. The goblin-like creatures were not always so, for they were born of the same intentions that once fueled the pursuit of justice. They were, in essence, fallen explorers who had ventured too far from home, lost in the wilderness of darkness. The revelation struck Seraph with a poignant recognition. In their twisted forms, the goblin creatures embodied the consequences of a journey astray, a fate that he himself had been tasked to prevent. He could not help but feel a kinship with these creatures, for they were a reflection of the challenges he faced in his mission. As Seraph observed the goblin-like creatures from a distance, he saw echoes of their former selves hidden beneath layers of darkness. Their actions, while cruel and malevolent, hinted at a deeper longing, a yearning for justice that had been corrupted over time. It was a reminder that even the most twisted souls carried within them traces of their original intentions. The Globarsader's presence on Turkey Mountain stirred the goblin creatures, evoking a mix of curiosity and wariness. For they recognized something in Seraph that harkened back to their own past, to the realm of glow and the purity it represented. Yet, the connection remained obscured by layers of despair that clung to both the creatures and the mountain itself. As Seraph continued his journey, he carried with him the weight of this connection, a reminder that his mission went beyond the transformation of the mountain's inhabitants. It was a journey that encompassed his own understanding of the delicate balance between light and darkness, and the potential for redemption that existed even in the most twisted of souls. Chapter 5, Shadows Unveiled. As Seraph ventured deeper into the heart of Turkey Mountain, he found himself in the midst of the inhabitants who called this dark realm their home. Their twisted forms and haunting gazes bore witness to the malevolence that had taken root within them. It was a darkness that seemed to permeate every corner, every interaction, and every breath. The Globarsader's initial interactions with the inhabitants revealed a disturbing reality. Their words carried a venomous edge, dripping with cruelty and malice. The very air seemed to hum with tension as Seraph navigated the treacherous landscape, his presence stirring both fascination and apprehension. Conversations, if they could be called that, were laced with manipulation and mockery. Seraph listened as they spoke of twisted desires, each word a reminder of the depth to which their souls had fallen. It was as if the concept of empathy had been strangled, replaced by a cold detachment that made even the most mundane exchanges feel like a dance of cruelty. In these early interactions, Seraph observed firsthand the disturbing practices that had become the norm. Acts of torment were carried out with an unsettling nonchalance, as if the very concept of kindness had been banished from this realm. The inhabitants reveled in their power over one another, a grim display of dominance that further underscored the mountain's malevolent nature. As Seraph moved among them, he felt a mixture of sadness and determination. The echoes of their past intentions were obscured by layers of darkness, yet he knew that beneath the cruelty lay dormant sparks of humanity. It was these sparks that he sought to rekindle, the glow within their souls that had been buried beneath the weight of their actions. The pervasive darkness weighed heavily on Seraph's heart. The very land seemed to mourn the loss of its former vibrancy, its desolation a reflection of the inhabitants' fractured souls. Yet, amidst this bleakness, Seraph saw glimmers of potential, fragments of a reality that could be reshaped if only the grip of darkness could be loosened. As the Globasada navigated the intricacies of their interactions, he was keenly aware of the challenges that lay ahead. The mountain's cruelty was deeply ingrained, a twisted dance of power that had become a way of life. But Seraph was not deterred. He had faced shadows before, and he carried with him the unwavering belief in the power of transformation. With each encounter, Seraph sought to plant seeds of positivity, to ignite the faint sparks of empathy that still lingered within. He knew that the road ahead would be fraught with resistance, but he was determined to illuminate the path from darkness to light. As he continued his journey, he held in his heart the promise of glow, a promise that even the darkest souls could be touched by the light of redemption. Chapter 6: The Spectrum of Darkness. As Seraph delved deeper into the intricate fabric of Turkey Mountain's existence, he began to unravel the layers of darkness that had enshrouded its inhabitants. The cruelty that had once been only hinted at now revealed itself in a stark spectrum of malevolence, escalating from bad hygiene and callousness to the very depths of horror. Each level of Turkey represented a stage in the mountain's descent into depravity, a descent that echoed the twisted acronym it bore. It was a journey that the inhabitants were bound to undergo, a progression from bad to worse, from the mundane to the unthinkable. In the first level, cruelty manifested as basic neglect and harsh conditions. The inhabitants existed in an environment that reflected their own indifference to their well-being. The concept of empathy was a distant memory, replaced by an acceptance of suffering as the norm. Yet, even in this early stage, Seraph saw glimpses of potential, traces of a humanity that had not yet been completely extinguished. As he moved through the levels, Seraph witnessed the escalation of darkness. The second level revealed an intensification of cruelty, where survival instincts led to aggression and harm. The inhabitants had become accustomed to a life defined by struggle, and their actions reflected this primal struggle for dominance. The third level was marked by deteriorating hygiene and behavior. The mountain's environment decayed in parallel with the inhabitants' morals. Basic cleanliness became a luxury, and the very notion of respect for oneself and others was all but forgotten. It was a descent into a realm where the stench of despair permeated every interaction. In the fourth level, the darkness grew even more profound. Sadistic control and manipulation took center stage, as the inhabitants reveled in their power over one another. Psychological torment and public humiliation became tools of dominance, and cruelty was wielded as a means of establishing control. By the time Seraph reached the fifth level, he had borne witness to the loss of empathy and the dehumanization of the inhabitants. The mountain had become a breeding ground for suffering, a place where the boundaries of cruelty had been shattered. And yet, amid the horror, the Globasada saw the remnants of their forgotten intentions, buried beneath layers of darkness. Finally, at the sixth level, the peak of the mountain awaited, the ultimate manifestation of the Turkey acronym. It was here that the most unimaginable horrors unfolded, where innocence was lost, and darkness reigned supreme. Children, the most vulnerable among them, were subjected to the depths of depravity. As Seraph confronted the grim reality of Turkey Mountain, he carried with him the knowledge that the journey from darkness to light was a long and arduous one. The levels of Turkey were a reflection of the mountain's descent into depravity, but they also held within them the potential for redemption. It was a potential that Seraph was determined to uncover, one spark at a time. Chapter 7, Echoes of Intent. As Seraph continued his journey through the tangled web of darkness on Turkey Mountain, he began to unearth the forgotten history that had shaped its destiny. The mountain's descent into depravity had not been its original fate. It had once been a place driven by the desire for justice and fairness. The inhabitants spoke in hushed whispers of a time when the mountain slopes were not tainted by cruelty, when intentions were pure and desires were rooted in a longing for retribution. It was a past shrouded in shadows, obscured by the layers of malevolence that had since taken hold. Seraph listened as the inhabitants recounted stories of a people who had once walked these paths with a purpose. They spoke of a time when the mountain had been chosen as a symbol of justice, a place where grievances were meant to find resolution. The initial colonization had been driven by a noble aspiration for fairness, a yearning to right the wrongs of the past. Yet, as time marched on, the very intentions that had brought them to the mountain had become distorted. The pursuit of justice had morphed into a quest for power, the desire for fairness twisted into an insatiable appetite for control. The mountain's history had taken a dark turn, its original purpose buried beneath layers of darkness. Seraph felt a profound sense of sadness as he pieced together the fragments of this forgotten narrative. It was a tale of good intentions gone awry, a reflection of the complexity of human nature. He understood that the descent into darkness had not been sudden, it had been a gradual unraveling of intentions, a slow transformation of noble aspirations into malevolent actions. As the Glo Barsader delved deeper into the history, he sensed a profound connection between the past and the present. The goblin-like creatures that now inhabited the mountain were living echoes of those who had once walked its paths with genuine intentions. They were a reminder of the journey astray, a cautionary tale of the consequences of losing sight of one's original purpose. Amidst the darkness, Seraph found glimmers of hope. The very fact that the inhabitants remembered their history was a testament to the buried spark of humanity that still existed within them. It was a spark that he believed could be reignited, a spark that had the potential to transform the mountain's trajectory from one of despair to one of redemption. Armed with this newfound understanding, Seraph pressed on, carrying with him the weight of the mountain's history. He knew that the journey toward redemption required not only a transformation of the present but a reckoning with the past. And as he ventured deeper into the heart of Turkey Mountain, he remained steadfast in his belief that even the darkest history held the potential for a brighter future. Chapter 8, The Twisted Pursuit. In the heart of Turkey Mountain, as Seraph delved deeper into the inhabitants' lives, he began to unravel the intricate threads that had woven the tapestry of darkness. Behind their cruel actions and malevolent demeanor lay a distorted sense of justice and retribution, a driving force that had become twisted by the very environment it had birthed. The inhabitants' tales revealed a complex web of motives, intertwined with the memory of the mountain's colonization. Once, they had been driven by a fervent desire for justice, a yearning to right the wrongs of their past. But as the years wore on, the pursuit of justice had become an obsession, a lens through which they saw the world. The notion of retribution had taken root in their hearts, growing into a monstrous force that consumed their every thought and action. Every act of cruelty, every display of power, was justified in their minds as a means to redress the perceived wrongs of their history. Their original intentions had become warped by the darkness that surrounded them. Seraph listened as they spoke of a need to make others suffer as they believed they themselves had suffered. Their definition of justice had shifted, morphing into a desire for revenge that knew no bounds. They had become the architects of their own torment, victims of their own distorted sense of fairness. The Globarsader's heart ached as he recognized the tragic irony that had befallen the inhabitants. They had set out to create a realm of justice and retribution, and in doing so, they had become the very agents of cruelty they sought to combat. The mountain's history had become a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the dangers of allowing noble intentions to be consumed by darkness. With each revelation, Seraph's determination grew stronger. He knew that the road to transformation would require more than just changing actions, it would require challenging the very foundations of their beliefs. The twisted pursuit of justice had to be unraveled, replaced by a reconnection with the original spark of fairness and genuine intent. As he interacted with the inhabitants, Seraph saw the potential for change. Beneath the layers of cruelty, he detected traces of doubt, moments of introspection when they questioned the validity of their actions. It was in these moments that he saw a glimmer of hope, a crack in the armor of darkness that allowed the possibility of redemption to seep in. Armed with the knowledge of their motives, Seraph knew that he was facing a monumental challenge. He had to confront not only their actions but the very beliefs that fueled those actions. He had to guide them toward a new understanding of justice, one that was untainted by revenge and rooted in the genuine pursuit of goodness. And so, with unwavering resolve, Seraph pressed on, determined to untangle the twisted pursuit that had driven the mountain's descent into darkness. He carried with him the hope that even the most deeply ingrained beliefs could be reshaped, and that the inhabitants could find their way back to the path of true justice and redemption. Chapter 9, Illuminating Paths in the Heart of Turkey Mountain. As Seraph continued his quest to bring light to the darkness, he embarked on a journey to connect with the inhabitants in a profound way. He recognized that transformation required more than just unraveling the twisted motives, it demanded a rediscovery of the original spark of glow that had been buried beneath layers of despair. The Globarsader's approach was deliberate and thoughtful. He understood that to guide the inhabitants toward redemption, he needed to bridge the gap between their current reality and the realm of glow he hailed from. It was a journey of connection, an endeavor to help them rekindle the genuine light, oneness, and wellness that had long been forgotten. Seraph's interactions became a canvas for sharing practices of awareness and self-improvement. He introduced concepts that were foreign to the mountain's inhabitants, techniques that invited them to look inward and explore the depths of their own souls. He guided them in meditation, a practice that allowed them to momentarily detach from the darkness that consumed their existence. Through these practices, Seraph aimed to awaken a sense of mindfulness, a conscious awareness of their actions and intentions. He encouraged them to reflect on the motives that drove their behavior, to question the validity of their distorted sense of justice. It was a journey of self-discovery, a process of unearthing the buried fragments of their original intent. The Globarsader's words were a balm for their wounded spirits, a beacon of hope in a realm so starved of it. He spoke of the possibility of change, of the potential to break free from the shackles of darkness that bound them. His presence was a reminder that even in the most desolate of landscapes, the spark of glow could still be ignited. As he shared his teachings, Seraph witnessed the slow transformation taking root. He saw the inhabitants engage in moments of introspection, their faces contorted in the struggle to reconcile their current actions with the practices of glow. He heard whispers of doubt, expressions of uncertainty as they grappled with the revelation that their pursuit of justice had been corrupted. It was a delicate process, guiding them toward a new understanding of justice that transcended revenge and cruelty. Seraph knew that he was challenging their very belief system, asking them to let go of the twisted pursuit they had clung to for so long. But he was unwavering in his conviction that they were capable of change, that the dormant spark of humanity within them could be rekindled. With every interaction, Seraph was building bridges between the realms of light and darkness. He was offering the inhabitants a chance to step away from the shadows that had consumed them, to reconnect with the original spark of glow that had once guided their intentions. And as he continued on this journey of rediscovery, he carried with him the hope that even the darkest of souls could find their way back to the path of genuine light, oneness, and wellness. Chapter 10, Resisting Shadows. The journey of transformation on Turkey Mountain was not without its challenges. As Seraph endeavored to shift the mindset of the inhabitants, he encountered resistance that mirrored the very darkness he sought to dispel. The road to redemption was paved with obstacles, each one a test of his unwavering belief in the power of glow. The inhabitants' deep-seated beliefs were not easily shaken. The twisted pursuit of justice and retribution had become ingrained in their identity, a part of who they were. To challenge those beliefs was to ask them to confront the very essence of their existence, a prospect met with skepticism and hostility. Seraph faced the task of dismantling the distorted beliefs that had guided their actions for so long. He had to tread carefully, for every word he spoke was met with suspicion. His teachings of awareness, mindfulness, and self-improvement were met with resistance, as the inhabitants clung to their familiar, albeit malevolent, ways. He saw the fear in their eyes, the fear of letting go of the only reality they had ever known. The darkness had become a safety net, a twisted comfort that shielded them from the vulnerability of change. Seraph's attempts to guide them toward the light were met with walls of defiance, as they recoiled from the unfamiliar terrain of positivity. Even as he shared the practices of glow, Seraph witnessed their struggle to break free from the shackles of their past. The whispers of doubt he had heard earlier had now transformed into fierce internal battles. They grappled with the clash between their original intentions and the darkness that had consumed them, torn between the promise of redemption and the familiarity of cruelty. The very essence of Turkey Mountain seemed to resist the transformation Seraph sought to bring. The environment itself bore witness to the inhabitants' resistance, its harsh conditions a reflection of their stubborn determination to cling to the status quo. Every step forward was met with a pushback from the mountain's shadows, as if the darkness itself was fighting to maintain its grip. Yet, amid the challenges, Seraph remained undeterred. He understood that transformation was not a linear path, but a complex journey of introspection and growth. He continued to share his teachings, his words like seeds sown in fertile ground. He nurtured the glimmers of doubt he saw in their eyes, recognizing that even the tiniest spark of questioning could eventually ignite a blaze of change. The Globasader's resolve burned brighter with each obstacle he faced. He knew that true transformation required perseverance, patience, and an unyielding belief in the potential for change. As he navigated the treacherous terrain of resistance, he carried with him the unwavering hope that even the darkest of hearts could be touched by the light of glow, given the chance to overcome the shadows that had held them captive for far too long. Chapter 11, Descent into Depravity. As Seraph continued his mission of transformation on Turkey Mountain, he was confronted with the disturbing reality of the different levels of Turkey. Each level represented a descent into deeper darkness, a progression from cruelty to unthinkable horror. The impact of these levels on the inhabitants was profound, revealing the twisted nature of their existence. At the first level, the inhabitants exhibited a callousness that manifested in neglect and harsh conditions. The environment mirrored their indifference, the landscape marred by decay and refuse. Inhabitants moved through their lives with a sense of detachment, a reflection of the loss of empathy that had taken hold. As Seraph witnessed the first level of Turkey, he saw how the inhabitants had become desensitized to the suffering around them. Basic acts of kindness were replaced by a self-centered approach to survival. It was a chilling reminder that darkness had infiltrated even the most mundane aspects of their lives. Moving deeper into the mountain, Seraph encountered the second level of Turkey. Here, aggression and harm were commonplace, survival instincts leading to acts of violence. The inhabitants had become embroiled in a cycle of dominance and submission, their interactions defined by a primal struggle for control. The second level revealed the erosion of civility, replaced by a brutal battle for dominance. Seraph observed the scars that adorned their bodies, physical reminders of the aggression that had become ingrained in their culture. The twisted pursuit of power had taken root, and the mountain's inhabitants had become prisoners of their own creation. The third level exposed an even darker reality. Deteriorating hygiene and behavior defined this realm of desolation. The inhabitants existed in an environment that mirrored their own neglect, and basic cleanliness became a distant memory. It was a descent into a realm where the very essence of self-respect had been consumed by darkness. Seraph watched as they moved through their lives, their appearance and surroundings steeped in filth. The stench of decay was pervasive, a haunting reminder of the depths to which they had fallen. The third level was a testament to the corrosive nature of their beliefs, as the mountain's inhabitants struggled to maintain even the most basic standards of hygiene. The fourth level unveiled a new layer of horror, sadistic control and manipulation. The inhabitants reveled in their power over one another, using psychological torment and public humiliation as tools of dominance. It was a world where cruelty had become a means of establishing control, a chilling display of the depths of human depravity. As Seraph bore witness to the fourth level of Turkey, he saw how the inhabitants had become architects of torment. The twisted dance of power and control was a reflection of the darkness that had consumed them. The mountain's environment, once chosen as a symbol of justice, had become a breeding ground for suffering. With a heavy heart, Seraph ascended further, reaching the fifth level of Turkey. Here, the loss of empathy was complete, and the inhabitants had become dehumanized shadows of their former selves. Their actions defied reason, their interactions defined by a twisted understanding of fairness and dominance. It was a realm where even the faintest traces of compassion had been extinguished, replaced by an apathy that allowed for the most heinous acts to be committed without remorse. Seraph watched in horror as the inhabitants reveled in their own depravity, their actions a reflection of the depths of darkness that had taken hold. As he ventured closer to the peak, Seraph knew that the sixth level awaited, the culmination of the Turkey spectrum. It was here that the most unimaginable horrors were to be found, where innocence had been lost and darkness reigned supreme. The children, the most vulnerable among them, bore the brunt of this sinister reality. With a heavy heart and a determination that burned brighter than ever, Seraph pressed on. He understood that confronting the different levels of Turkey was not just about unveiling the horrors, but about igniting the spark of change within the inhabitants. The mountain's darkness was a formidable foe, but he remained steadfast in his belief that even the most twisted of souls could be redeemed. Chapter 12, Confronting Shadows. Seraph's journey on Turkey Mountain took a harrowing turn as he reached the sixth level of Turkey, the peak of darkness that awaited him. Here, the ambassador bore witness to the unthinkable horrors that had become the norm in this twisted realm. It was a descent into the abyss, a confrontation with the depth of the darkness that had enveloped the inhabitants. As he looked around, Seraph could hardly believe the horrors that unfolded before him. The innocence of children, the very embodiment of hope and purity, had been sacrificed to the depths of cruelty. The peak of the mountain was a chilling testament to the complete perversion of justice, a world where the most vulnerable were subjected to the most unimaginable suffering. The inhabitants, once driven by a desire for fairness, had become agents of the darkest form of retribution. Their actions defied reason, their cruelty exceeded the boundaries of comprehension. Seraph watched in horror as children were subjected to the twisted desires of those who had lost all semblance of humanity. The sixth level of Turkey was a place of nightmares, a realm where innocence had been obliterated by malevolence. The impact of this darkness was palpable, and the ambassador felt the weight of it press heavily on his heart. He could not turn away, could not shield himself from the truth that was laid bare before him. The children's eyes, once filled with curiosity and wonder, now held only fear and resignation. Their spirits had been broken, their light extinguished by the relentless cruelty that surrounded them. Seraph understood that their suffering was a reflection of the darkness that had consumed the mountain, a darkness that had once been fueled by the very pursuit of justice. In that moment, Seraph's resolve hardened. The reality of Turkey Mountain's descent into depravity was no longer an abstract concept, it was a visceral experience that shook him to his core. He understood that the journey of transformation was not just about changing actions, but about shattering the twisted beliefs that had allowed such horrors to flourish. With a heavy heart, Seraph knew that the road ahead was treacherous. The peak of the mountain was a stark reminder of the depths to which humanity could fall, a reminder that the battle against darkness was not just about external change, but about a profound inner shift. He carried with him the determination to face this darkness head-on, to confront the shadows that had taken hold, and to guide the inhabitants toward a path of redemption and healing. As he left the sixth level of Turkey behind, Seraph knew that the task ahead was daunting. The mountain's darkness was a formidable foe, its grip on the inhabitants unrelenting. But he remained unwavering in his belief that even in the face of such unspeakable horrors, the light of glow could still find a way to pierce through, illuminating the path from darkness to genuine light, oneness, and wellness. Chapter 13 The Dawn of Realization. Amidst the darkness that had consumed Turkey Mountain, Seraph's efforts to awaken the inhabitants' inner glow began to bear fruit. The journey toward redemption had been fraught with challenges, but as he continued to share his teachings of awareness, self-improvement, and genuine intent, a glimmer of hope emerged. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the inhabitants began to respond to Seraph's presence. His words, once met with skepticism, now found receptive hearts eager for change. The practices of mindfulness and introspection began to take root, as the inhabitants confronted the darkness within themselves and questioned the motives that had guided their actions for so long. The sixth level of Turkey, with its unimaginable horrors, had shaken their beliefs to the core. The children's suffering had become a catalyst for introspection, a stark reminder of the consequences of their twisted pursuit of justice. The mountain's inhabitants were beginning to see the reflection of their own darkness in the innocent eyes of those they had harmed. Seraph's teachings acted as a balm for their wounded souls, offering a glimpse of an alternative reality. He spoke of the original spark of glow that had once guided their intentions, a spark that had been buried beneath layers of cruelty. He helped them understand that their descent into darkness had been a result of losing sight of their original purpose. But Seraph's efforts went beyond surface-level change. He shared with them the journey he had taken from his own realm of pure light and goodness. He spoke of his positive intent dive, a practice that had allowed him to navigate through various levels of understanding. From cruelty to a twisted sense of justice, and finally to the realization of genuine light, oneness, and wellness, his journey mirrored the path the inhabitants were now on. He also introduced the concept of the 80/20 analysis, a technique he had utilized to assess the efficiency of their actions. Seraph shared the staggering discovery he had made: their current approach required 100% effort for less than 1% reward in terms of glow. It was an inefficient and unsustainable model, a stark contrast to their original intent of spreading genuine goodness. The inhabitants were intrigued by the idea, as Seraph guided them through the process of examining their actions and their impact. He encouraged them to question the validity of their current approach, to consider whether their pursuit of justice had truly aligned with their initial intentions. It was a moment of reckoning, as they recognized the discrepancy between their actions and their desired outcome. As the inhabitants engaged in self-improvement practices, they began to see the results of their efforts. The awareness and mindfulness they cultivated started to chip away at the layers of darkness that had consumed them. Small acts of kindness replaced cruelty, and genuine connections emerged from the ashes of isolation. Seraph's teachings acted as a catalyst for reflection and growth, and the mountain's transformation was marked by moments of realization and redemption. The journey was far from over, but the dawn of realization had brought with it the promise of change. As the inhabitants embraced the teachings of awareness and self-improvement, Seraph knew that the road ahead was challenging, but he remained steadfast in his belief that even the darkest of souls could be rekindled by the light of glow. Chapter 14, Embracing the Light on Turkey Mountain. Moments of realization and redemption unfolded like delicate petals unfurling in the sunlight. Seraph's teachings, rooted in the journey from cruelty to genuine intent, resonated deeply with the inhabitants who had long been entangled in the twisted pursuit of justice. The journey of transformation was a slow but steady dance, where the inhabitants confronted their darkness and embraced the innate goodness that had long been overshadowed. Inhabitants who had once reveled in cruelty began to experience a profound shift. The realization that their pursuit of justice had led them down a path of darkness prompted a soul-searching journey of introspection. Seraph's words acted as a guiding light, illuminating the way from cruelty to the original intent of glow. The ambassador's own positive intent dive served as an example, showing them that even the most twisted of paths could lead back to the light. Slowly and steadily, Seraph's teachings took root. The inhabitants engaged in self-improvement practices with a newfound dedication, recognizing the transformative power of awareness and genuine intent. The practice of the 80/20 analysis, with its revelation of their inefficient approach, became a turning point. They understood that their actions were a far cry from their original intention of spreading genuine goodness. With every small act of kindness and every moment of introspection, the mountain's inhabitants experienced a profound transformation. The sixth level of Turkey, which had been a realm of unimaginable horrors, began to recede. The children, who had borne the brunt of the darkness, were among the first to experience redemption. Their laughter, once silenced by fear, echoed through the mountain's corridors, a symphony of healing that resonated with the promise of a better future. Individuals who had once inflicted pain upon others now extended gestures of kindness, their actions a reflection of the new awareness that had taken hold. Seraph observed as they went out of their way to help one another, offering a glimpse of the transformation that was unfolding within them. It was a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that even the darkest souls could find their way back to the light. One by one, the inhabitants confronted their past actions, acknowledging the pain they had caused and seeking forgiveness from one another. Seraph bore witness to heartfelt conversations, where remorse and vulnerability replaced the hardness that had defined their interactions. It was a humbling experience, as individuals who had once been agents of darkness now embraced the light of transformation. As the inhabitants embraced the teachings of awareness and self-improvement, a newfound sense of community blossomed. They formed support networks, sharing their struggles and triumphs, and leaning on one another for guidance as they navigated the challenging path ahead. The mountain, once a symbol of darkness, began to transform from the inside out. The dawn of realization brought with it a renewed sense of purpose. The journey of transformation was far from over, but the progress made thus far was a testament to the power of redemption, to the capacity for change that resided within each and every soul. As Seraph looked around, he felt a profound sense of gratitude. The darkness that had once consumed the mountain was slowly giving way to the light of glow. With every step they took, the inhabitants moved closer to reclaiming their original intent, the genuine light, oneness, and wellness that had always been within their reach. Seraph's heart swelled with pride as he saw individuals who had once been lost to the depths of darkness now stand tall in the embrace of their own goodness. The transformation was a testament to their resilience, their willingness to confront their past and shape a brighter future. And as the inhabitants continued on their journey of realization and redemption, Seraph walked alongside them, a beacon of hope and a reminder that even in the darkest of places, the light of glow could prevail. Chapter 15, Breaking Chains, Building Bridges. With the dawn of realization came a wave of determination on Turkey Mountain. The inhabitants, once enshrouded in darkness, had embarked on a collective journey of transformation and healing. As they embraced the teachings of awareness, self-improvement, and genuine intent, they recognized the need to dismantle the twisted practices and systems that had perpetuated their descent into darkness. In unity, the inhabitants worked together to identify the deeply entrenched patterns that had fueled the mountain's darkness. The sixth level of Turkey, with its unimaginable horrors, had served as a chilling reminder of the consequences of their actions. Now, armed with newfound awareness, they sought to break the chains that had bound them and build bridges toward a brighter future. Seraph's teachings, which had ignited the spark of change within them, guided their efforts. They began to question the norms that had defined their existence, dismantling the structures that had supported cruelty and suffering. The practices of mindfulness and introspection acted as tools of empowerment, enabling them to confront their own complicity and make a conscious choice for change. Together, they addressed the various levels of Turkey that had defined their descent into darkness. They acknowledged the disturbing practices that had become ingrained and systematically dismantled them, replacing cruelty with compassion, dominance with collaboration, and neglect with care. The children, once victims of the mountain's horrors, became symbols of hope and renewal, their innocence a driving force for change. The inhabitants understood that their journey was not just about changing behaviors, but about addressing the root causes of their descent into darkness. They confronted the twisted beliefs that had led them astray, replacing them with a renewed understanding of their original intent, genuine light, oneness, and wellness. As they worked to heal themselves, they also turned their attention to healing the mountain itself. The environment, once a reflection of their darkness, began to transform. Decay gave way to growth, filth to cleanliness, and isolation to connection. The mountain's transformation became a living testament to the power of redemption and the resilience of the human spirit. But the process was not without challenges. The inhabitants faced resistance from those who clung to the old ways, who were afraid to let go of the darkness that had defined their existence. Seraph stood alongside them, a steadfast pillar of support, reminding them that change was possible, that the light of glow could pierce through even the darkest corners. With each dismantled practice, with each bridge built between hearts, the inhabitants moved closer to reclaiming their true selves. The transformation was a testament to their unwavering commitment to break free from the chains of cruelty and emerge as beings of light and goodness. As the mountain shed its darkness and embraced the light of glow, the inhabitants realized that the journey of transformation was ongoing. But armed with the tools of awareness, introspection, and genuine intent, they had forged a new path forward. The twisted practices and systems that had once perpetuated their descent into darkness were now relics of the past, replaced by a shared commitment to healing, compassion, and genuine light, oneness, and wellness. In the face of adversity, they had emerged as agents of change, their journey a testament to the boundless potential for transformation that resides within us all. And as the mountain's environment continued to transform, Seraph knew that the journey of healing and redemption was far from over, but the progress made thus far was a powerful reminder that even the darkest of places could be reclaimed by the light. Chapter 16. The Dawn of Renewal. As the inhabitants of Turkey Mountain united in their journey of transformation, a sense of renewal swept through the once darkened corridors. The twisted practices and systems that had perpetuated darkness were dismantled, making way for positive change to take root. The mountain, once a symbol of despair, was now becoming a beacon of hope and renewal. One of the most visible changes was in the realm of hygiene. Where filth and decay had once reigned, cleanliness and order began to flourish. The inhabitants recognized that the physical environment was a reflection of their inner state, and as they embarked on a journey of self-improvement, they extended the same care to their surroundings. The stench of decay gave way to the freshness of cleanliness, a tangible reminder of the transformation that was unfolding. Community bonding flourished as individuals reached out to one another with empathy and compassion. The sixth level of Turkey, which had been marked by cruelty and isolation, was now a place where connections were forged. The inhabitants understood that their individual journeys were intertwined, and they leaned on one another for support, encouragement, and strength. Empathy, once buried beneath layers of darkness, emerged as a guiding force. The inhabitants looked into one another's eyes and saw the shared struggles and the shared dreams. They acknowledged their past actions and chose to respond with understanding and forgiveness. The children, once victims of their twisted pursuits, were now embraced with care and protection, a testament to the collective commitment to healing and redemption. Amidst these positive changes, the ambassador's teachings on the 80/20 analysis bore fruit in a remarkable way. The inhabitants, armed with the understanding that their old ways had required 100% effort for less than 1% glow reward, were now reaping the benefits of a more efficient and purposeful approach. Through their dedication to awareness, self-improvement, and genuine intent, they had achieved a remarkable transformation. 2.5% effort now yielded a staggering 99.9% glow reward. It was a 3,300x improvement from the old way, a testament to their commitment to change and the power of glow. The mountain itself became a living testament to the progress made. The air, once heavy with darkness, now carried a sense of rejuvenation. The inhabitants moved through the corridors with a newfound purpose, their footsteps echoing the rhythm of positive change. The old systems that had once fueled cruelty were replaced with structures that supported compassion, collaboration, and the shared pursuit of genuine light, oneness, and wellness. As the inhabitants gathered in communal spaces, sharing stories of their journeys and celebrating each other's victories, Seraph looked on with a heart full of pride. The dawn of renewal had arrived on Turkey Mountain, and the transformation was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The darkness that had once consumed the mountain was now a distant memory, replaced by the radiant light of glow. As they continued on their collective journey, the inhabitants embraced the new way of living with a sense of purpose and determination. The positive changes that had taken place were a testament to their unwavering commitment to break free from the chains of darkness and emerge as beings of light and goodness. And as they moved forward, Seraph walked alongside them, a symbol of hope and a reminder that even the most twisted of paths could lead to the light of redemption. Chapter 17. The Peak of Darkness. The journey of transformation on Turkey Mountain had led Seraph and the inhabitants to a point of unprecedented change. The positive shifts that had taken place were evident in every corner of the mountain, but the journey was far from over. As the inhabitants embraced the light of glow, Seraph knew that there was one final challenge they had to confront, the Peak of Darkness, where the most extreme horrors awaited. With a resolute heart, Seraph embarked on the treacherous ascent to the mountain's highest point. As he climbed, he could feel the weight of the past pressing upon him, a reminder of the atrocities that had defined the mountain's history. He knew that to truly transform the mountain and its inhabitants, he had to confront the depths of darkness head-on. At the peak, a chilling sight awaited him, one that tested his resolve and pushed the boundaries of his own strength. The horrors he encountered were a culmination of the twisted practices and cruelty that had plagued the mountain for so long. And at the center of it all were the children, innocent souls who had suffered the most unimaginable of fates. As Seraph bore witness to the atrocities, his heart clenched with a mixture of sorrow and fury. The depths of darkness seemed to have no end, and the weight of the pain felt nearly unbearable. But he reminded himself of the purpose that had brought him here, to confront the darkness, to shine a light into its depths, and to offer a chance at redemption even in the face of the unthinkable. The children, who had been victims of the twisted pursuit of justice, were now symbols of the mountain's darkest depths. Their suffering was a testament to the far-reaching consequences of cruelty and the twisted beliefs that had fueled it. Seraph's heart ached as he looked upon their innocent faces, their eyes haunted by the horrors they had endured. In that moment, Seraph felt a surge of determination. He knew that the mountain's transformation hinged on confronting this peak of darkness, on acknowledging the pain that had been inflicted and working towards a future of healing and redemption. He envisioned a new path forward, one that would honor the memory of those who had suffered and ensure that such horrors would never be repeated. As he stood at the peak, a quiet whisper of hope echoed in his heart. The journey of transformation had been arduous, filled with challenges and moments of profound realization. But in the face of the darkest of darkness, Seraph was reminded of the resilience of the human spirit and the power of glow to pierce through even the most impenetrable of shadows. With a heavy heart and a renewed sense of purpose, Seraph began the descent from the peak of darkness. The horrors he had witnessed would forever remain a part of the mountain's history, but he was determined to ensure that they would no longer define its future. The journey of transformation was nearing its conclusion, but the final steps were the most crucial, a path of healing, redemption, and a commitment to building a future that stood in stark contrast to the darkness that had once reigned. Chapter 18. Battling the shadows within. As Seraph descended from the peak of darkness, the weight of what he had witnessed lingered like a heavy fog. The horrors he had encountered were etched into his mind, and the emotional turmoil within him was palpable. It was a challenge unlike any he had faced before, the task of promoting change in an environment so dire, so deeply entrenched in darkness. The journey of transformation had been marked by moments of realization, redemption, and renewal. But at the peak of the mountain, the depths of darkness seemed bottomless. The innocent faces of the children haunted his thoughts, a constant reminder of the far-reaching consequences of cruelty and twisted beliefs. The pain he felt was not just for himself, but for the innocent souls who had suffered so greatly. As Seraph walked through the corridors that had once been marred by the most extreme horrors, he grappled with a sense of helplessness. The weight of the darkness seemed insurmountable, and the enormity of the challenge ahead weighed heavily on his shoulders. He questioned whether change was truly possible in the face of such deep-seated cruelty. The inhabitants, who had come so far in their journey of transformation, faced their own struggles. Confronting the peak of darkness had brought their own emotional turmoil to the surface. The memories of their past actions and the horrors they had inflicted were difficult to bear. It was a battle within themselves, as they grappled with guilt, remorse, and the overwhelming desire to break free from the chains of their past. Seraph knew that promoting change in such a dire environment would be a daunting task. The inhabitants had made incredible progress, but the darkness was not easily dispelled. He realized that the journey of transformation was not linear, it was a continuous cycle of confronting darkness, embracing light, and working towards redemption. The road ahead was uncertain, but he remained steadfast in his belief in the power of glow to guide them through. With each step he took, Seraph felt a renewed determination. The emotional turmoil within him was a reflection of the enormity of the task at hand. But he also knew that even in the darkest of places, the light of glow could prevail. He had witnessed moments of realization and redemption, and he had seen the spark of goodness within even the most twisted souls. As he interacted with the inhabitants, he saw their struggles and their desire for change. He listened to their stories, their hopes, and their fears. He offered a steady presence, a beacon of hope in the face of adversity. It was a reminder that even in the midst of the darkest shadows, there was a chance for transformation and renewal. The journey of promoting change in such a dire environment was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Seraph understood that the road ahead would be challenging, but he also knew that the progress made thus far was a testament to the power of redemption. With each interaction, each conversation, and each act of kindness, he worked to chip away at the darkness, to offer a glimmer of hope in the midst of despair. As he continued to navigate the mountain's corridors, Seraph carried within him the weight of the peak of darkness, but he also carried the unwavering belief that change was possible. The emotional turmoil he faced was a reflection of the battle within, a battle between light and darkness. And as he walked forward, he did so with a heart full of hope and a determination to shine a light that would guide the inhabitants from the depths of despair towards a future of healing and redemption. Chapter 19. From darkness to dawn. The peak of darkness loomed like a shadow over Turkey Mountain, a constant reminder of the horrors that had defined its history. But amidst the darkness, a glimmer of hope emerged, a collective determination to confront the past, rescue the innocent, and work towards a future of rebirth and redemption. Seraph stood at the forefront, his heart heavy with the weight of the peak's atrocities. The children, who had borne the brunt of the darkness, were at the center of his focus. He knew that to truly transform the mountain, they had to be rescued from the depths of cruelty and despair. It was a daunting task, but he was not alone. The inhabitants, who had themselves journeyed from darkness to light, stood by his side, united in their commitment to change. The ambassador and the inhabitants ventured back to the peak, where the most extreme horrors had unfolded. It was a journey into the heart of darkness, a confrontation with the past that demanded courage and strength. As they ascended, they carried with them the weight of their own experiences, their own battles with darkness, and their shared desire to rescue the innocent souls who had suffered so greatly. With each step they took, they were confronted with the chilling reminders of the past. The corridors that had once echoed with cruelty were now filled with determination, as the inhabitants worked to dismantle the twisted practices that had perpetuated darkness. They confronted the levels of Turkey head-on, acknowledging the pain they had caused and working to ensure that such horrors would never be repeated. As they reached the peak, the sight that greeted them was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The children, once trapped in the depths of darkness, now looked upon them with eyes filled with a mixture of fear and hope. The ambassador and the inhabitants extended their hands, offering a lifeline to the innocent souls who had suffered for far too long. The rescue mission was a challenging endeavor, as they worked to untangle the webs of cruelty that had ensnared the children. The horrors they had endured were etched into their very beings, and the journey towards healing and redemption would be a long one. But the inhabitants, who had themselves journeyed from darkness to light, were living proof that transformation was possible. As they guided the children down the treacherous path from the peak, Seraph could feel the weight of the past lifting, replaced by a renewed sense of purpose. The horrors that had once defined the mountain were now a part of its history, but they would no longer define its future. The ambassador and the inhabitants had collectively faced the depths of darkness and emerged as beacons of light and hope. The journey of rebirth and redemption was far from over, but the progress made was a testament to the power of resilience, compassion, and the unwavering belief in the potential for change. The innocence of the children, once overshadowed by cruelty, was now a driving force for transformation. As they descended from the peak, a sense of hope washed over them, a reminder that even in the darkest of places, the dawn of a new beginning was possible. And as they walked side by side, the ambassador and the inhabitants carried with them the memory of the peak's horrors, but they also carried the promise of a future filled with healing, redemption, and the radiant light of glow. The children, once victims of darkness, were now symbols of transformation, their journey a testament to the human capacity to overcome even the most unimaginable of challenges. Chapter 20, The Melting of Darkness. As the ambassador, the inhabitants, and the rescued children descended from the peak of darkness, a sense of triumph mingled with the weight of the past. The journey of transformation had reached a pivotal moment, one that would symbolize the rebirth of positivity and the melting of darkness that had shrouded Turkey Mountain for so long. With each step they took, the air grew warmer, and a subtle change began to take hold. The environment, once marked by decay and filth, now seemed to shift and transform. The corridors that had echoed with the echoes of cruelty now resonated with a newfound sense of unity and purpose. The mountain itself seemed to respond to the collective effort to confront darkness and embrace light. And then, as if in response to their determination, a profound change began to unfold. The very structure of the mountain started to shift, the ice and darkness giving way to a new beginning. The melting of darkness was a symbol of the transformative power of redemption, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the potential for change, even in the face of the most profound challenges. As the ice melted away, revealing the underlying beauty of the mountain, the inhabitants watched in awe. The transformation was a physical manifestation of the inner change they had undergone, a shift from cruelty to compassion, from darkness to light. The mountain, once a symbol of despair, was now becoming a beacon of hope and renewal. The air was filled with a sense of rebirth, as the inhabitants came together to celebrate the progress that had been made. The rescued children, who had emerged from the peak of darkness, now looked upon the transformed landscape with wonder and amazement. The horrors of the past were still a part of their memory, but they were no longer imprisoned by them. They had been given a chance at a new beginning, a chance to rewrite their story in the light of redemption. Seraph stood at the center of it all, his heart full of gratitude and awe. The journey had been arduous, filled with challenges and moments of profound realization. But as he looked upon the melting mountain, he saw the embodiment of the human capacity for transformation. The darkness that had once consumed the mountain was now giving way to a brighter future, a future defined by compassion, unity, and the radiant light of glow. As the mountain continued to melt, the environment transformed before their very eyes. The ice that had once imprisoned them now flowed freely, becoming a river that carried with it the echoes of the past and the promise of a new beginning. The inhabitants gathered by the newly formed Glow River, a symbol of the journey they had undertaken and the transformation that had taken place. The ambassador's heart swelled with a sense of accomplishment, but he also knew that the journey was far from over. The melting of darkness was just the beginning, a prelude to a future filled with healing, growth, and the pursuit of genuine light, oneness, and wellness. The mountain, once a place of darkness and despair, was now a living testament to the power of redemption and the indomitable spirit of the human heart. And as they stood by the banks of the Glow River, the ambassador, the inhabitants, and the rescued children looked towards the horizon with hope and determination. The mountain's transformation was a reminder that even in the face of the darkest of challenges, the light of glow could prevail, and the journey of rebirth and redemption was a testament to the boundless potential for transformation that resides within us all. Epilogue: The Glow River. As the last remnants of darkness melted away, a profound transformation took hold of Turkey Mountain. The once twisted landscape had undergone a metamorphosis, shedding its history of cruelty and darkness in favor of a future defined by light and renewal. The Glow River, a symbol of the journey of redemption, now flowed where the mountain had once stood. The Glow River meandered through the corridors and valleys, its waters sparkling with the promise of a new beginning. It carried with it the echoes of the past, a reminder of the challenges and struggles that had defined the inhabitants' journey. But it also carried with it the promise of healing, growth, and the pursuit of genuine light, oneness, and wellness. The surroundings that had once been marred by decay and filth were now a testament to the power of transformation. The air was filled with a sense of freshness and renewal, a stark contrast to the darkness that had once enveloped the mountain. The inhabitants, who had themselves emerged from the depths of despair, now reveled in the newfound sense of freedom and purpose. Community bonding had flourished, and the inhabitants had become a close-knit family, bound by their shared journey and their commitment to change. The practices of awareness and self-improvement that Seraph had introduced had become an integral part of their daily lives. The levels of Turkey, once markers of darkness, were now a distant memory, replaced by a collective dedication to living in alignment with their true intent. The rescued children, who had emerged from the peak of darkness, had been given a chance at a new life. Their eyes, once haunted by fear, now sparkled with the innocence and wonder that had been stolen from them. They were a living testament to the power of redemption, a reminder that even in the face of the most unimaginable of horrors, a future of healing and renewal was possible. Seraph, who had embarked on the journey as a GLO ambassador, had become a part of the mountain's transformation. His unwavering belief in the potential for change and his commitment to guiding the inhabitants towards the light had left an indelible mark on the landscape. He had witnessed moments of realization, redemption, and transformation, and his presence had been a beacon of hope in the face of adversity. The Glow River, with its shimmering waters and its echoes of the past, now served as a reminder of the journey that had been undertaken. The mountain had transformed into a river, a living embodiment of the power of redemption and the capacity for change. The darkness that had once defined the landscape had been replaced by a radiant light that shone as a beacon of hope for all who passed by. And as the inhabitants gathered by the banks of the Glow River, they looked towards the horizon with hope and gratitude. The journey of transformation had been marked by challenges and moments of profound realization, but it had also been a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The Glow River, flowing freely through the landscape, was a reminder that even in the face of the darkest of challenges, the light of glow could prevail. The Glow River was a symbol of the collective effort to confront darkness, to embrace light, and to work towards a future of healing, growth, and genuine light, oneness, and wellness. It was a testament to the power of redemption, the capacity for transformation, and the boundless potential that resides within us all. And as the inhabitants looked upon the river, they were reminded that the journey was ongoing, and that the path of light and renewal stretched out before them, inviting them to continue their pursuit of a brighter and more compassionate world. The Glow River, once born from the melting of darkness, had become a living testament to the power of transformation. As its waters flowed through the corridors and valleys of Turkey Mountain, a profound change began to take hold. The river itself became a beacon of light and positivity, its influence spreading far beyond the mountain's borders and touching the lives of those in the surrounding areas. The once twisted landscape that had been defined by cruelty and darkness was now a landscape of renewal and healing. The Glow River flowed through the heart of this transformed environment, its sparkling waters reflecting the radiant light that now enveloped the mountain. It carried with it the echoes of the past, a reminder of the journey that had been undertaken, but it also carried with it the promise of a better future, a future characterized by compassion, unity, and the pursuit of genuine light, oneness, and wellness. As the Glow River continued on its course, it began to effect change beyond the confines of Turkey Mountain. Its waters, infused with the essence of transformation and redemption, touched the lives of those who lived in the surrounding areas. The positive energy that emanated from the river became a source of inspiration, encouraging individuals to reflect on their own actions and choices. The inhabitants of the surrounding areas, drawn by the river's undeniable pull, embarked on their own journeys of self-discovery and transformation. The practices of awareness and self-improvement that Seraph had introduced to Turkey Mountain found their way to new individuals, guiding them towards a more mindful and purposeful way of life. The river's influence extended not only to individuals but to entire communities, sparking conversations about change, compassion, and the pursuit of genuine light, oneness, and wellness. The Glow River became a gathering place, a hub of positivity and growth. Along its banks, people from different walks of life came together to share stories, exchange insights, and support one another on their journeys of transformation. The river's waters seemed to carry with them a sense of unity, breaking down barriers and fostering connections among individuals who might not have crossed paths otherwise. The landscape around the river began to transform as well. The once barren areas that had been marked by decay and darkness now flourished with new life. The river's positive influence seemed to infuse the land with a renewed sense of vitality, as if the very earth itself responded to the beacon of light and positivity that was the Glow River. And as the river continued to flow, its influence radiated outward, touching the hearts and minds of countless individuals. The journey of transformation that had begun on Turkey Mountain had now become a movement towards a future defined by compassion, growth, and the pursuit of genuine light, oneness, and wellness. The Glow River, once a symbol of darkness, had become a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the face of the darkest of challenges, the power of redemption and transformation could prevail. As the river's waters sparkled in the sunlight, its message was clear, that even in the midst of adversity, the choice to embrace light and positivity was always within reach. The Glow River stood as a testament to the potential for change that resided within us all, a reminder that by coming together, by confronting darkness with compassion, and by embracing the journey of transformation, we could create a world that shone brightly with the radiance of genuine light, oneness, and wellness. Closing thoughts: a journey of redemption and renewal. As the story of Turkey Mountain and its transformation comes to a close, it's important to reflect on the profound journey that has unfolded, a journey that has taken us from the depths of darkness to the heights of light, from cruelty to compassion, and from despair to hope. The power of redemption and the potential for positive change, even in the darkest of circumstances, have been at the heart of this tale. The journey began with a mountain shrouded in darkness, a place where the levels of Turkey were symbols of the twisted beliefs and actions that had defined its history. But as the ambassador, Seraph, descended into this world of darkness, he brought with him a spark of light, a spark that would ignite a transformation beyond imagination. Through moments of realization and redemption, the inhabitants of the mountain confronted their own past actions and the horrors they had inflicted. With unwavering determination, they worked towards a future defined by compassion, unity, and the pursuit of genuine light, oneness, and wellness. The ambassador's teachings, the practices of awareness, and the power of positive intent served as catalysts for change, guiding them from darkness to dawn. The journey of transformation was not without its challenges. The levels of Turkey, representing the increasing levels of grossness and cruelty, served as stark reminders of the depth of darkness that resided within the mountain. But even in the face of such horrors, the potential for change remained. The ambassador's presence, along with the collective efforts of the inhabitants, proved that the spark of goodness could never be completely extinguished. The peak of darkness, where the most extreme horrors had unfolded, represented the ultimate test of the ambassador's mission. Confronting the darkness within oneself and within others, especially in the direst of circumstances, is a challenge that requires immense courage and determination. Yet, the journey was not just about confronting darkness, it was about embracing light, even when it seemed the most distant. The transformation reached its climax as the mountain melted into the Glow River, a symbol of the power of redemption, renewal, and the potential for positive change. The river's influence spread beyond the mountain's borders, touching the lives of those in the surrounding areas and inspiring them to embark on their own journeys of transformation. In the end, the story of Turkey Mountain serves as a reminder that even in the face of the most unimaginable of challenges, the human spirit is capable of redemption and renewal. The power of positive intent, the practice of self-improvement, and the pursuit of genuine light, oneness, and wellness can transform even the darkest of landscapes into beacons of hope and positivity. As we close this chapter, let us remember the journey that has unfolded, a journey of redemption and renewal that showcases the boundless potential for positive change that resides within us all. May we carry the lessons of Turkey Mountain with us, reminding ourselves that even in the darkest of circumstances, the choice to embrace light and compassion is always within our reach. And may we, like the Glow River, be a source of positivity, spreading our influence and inspiring transformation wherever we go. Epilogue: extending the light to earth. As the story of Turkey Mountain concludes, a new chapter begins, one that extends beyond the confines of fiction and into the realm of reality. Imagine a world much like ours, yet shadowed by its own Turkey Mountains of challenges and darkness. It is into this world that another ambassador is sent, embodying the lessons learned from Turkey Mountain. With wings of light, the ambassador descends upon Earth, mirroring Seraph's journey but on a grander scale. Their mission is to guide humanity from darkness to light, from confusion to clarity, and from discord to harmony. Just as Seraph interacted with the inhabitants of the mountain, This Globasada engages with people from all walks of life, igniting the spark of transformation. The Globasada's journey of redemption and renewal parallels that of Turkey Mountain, yet it's infused with a unique twist, a reflection of the human experience. Just as the inhabitants of the mountain delved into the concept of positive intent, humanity too explores the essence of its own positive qualities. The Globasada poses the question, what is humanity's positive intent? Through their interactions and discoveries, humanity's positive intent gradually emerges, the desire for success, for thriving, for a life filled with harmony, equality, and vitality. Beneath these aspirations, they find a common thread, the yearning for genuine, light, oneness, and wellness, the same intent that once inspired the inhabitants of Turkey Mountain. As the journey progresses, the Globasada introduces humanity to the concept of the 8020 analysis, a tool that sheds light on the dynamics between effort and results. Humanity comes to realize that they too face an inverse equation, with 80% effort yielding only 20% of the desired outcomes. Just as Turkey Mountain's inhabitants discovered, there is room for exponential growth and positive change. With the guidance of the Globasada, humanity embarks on a transformative journey. They rebuild systems, eliminate suffering, and foster equality. They establish glow schools, harness green energy, and create a society that thrives on the principles of genuine, light, oneness, and wellness. Their efforts are not driven by mere survival, but by a collective intent to flourish, to shine brightly in a world once shrouded in darkness. The numbers shift, just as they did on Turkey Mountain. The projected outcome of humanity's efforts shifts from 11% to 92%, an improvement of 34 times. But the story doesn't end here, it expands further. For readers inspired by the journey of Seraph and the Globasada, there's a revelation that holds the key to unlocking unprecedented transformation. Readers come to realize that by addressing their own inner Turkey Mountains, by healing their personal wounds, and by applying the principles of awareness and positive intent, they too can experience a shift. The reader's personal transformation mirrors that of the mountain's inhabitants, leading to a projected outcome of 3,300 times improvement internally times 34 times externally, a monumental improvement of 112,200 times. And so, as the Globasada's journey continues, the transformation ripples across the planet. The same light that melted Turkey Mountain now melts away the barriers that divided humanity. The glow river of positive intent flows not only through the hearts of individuals but through the streets, communities, and nations, bringing forth a world transformed, a world where the potential for positive change is as limitless as the sky. The story of Turkey Mountain remains a beacon of hope, reminding us that within the darkest corners, the power to illuminate lies dormant, waiting to be awakened. It's an invitation to embrace transformation, to uncover our positive intent, and to chart a course towards a world aglow with the radiance of genuine, light, oneness, and wellness, a world where the legacy of Turkey Mountain lives on, forever guiding us toward a brighter future.